Welcome, everyone. My name is Michael Berry. I am a professor of East Asian languages and cultures at UCLA and director of the Center for Chinese Studies. And it's our great pleasure to welcome everyone to today's online event. Before we get started, I just wanted to let everyone know if you're not already on the Center for Chinese Studies mail list, we have an email list. And if you go to our website, you can just Google CCS UCLA. We'll put a link in the chat box for you. You can sign up and you will receive automated messages about our upcoming events. We usually do about 40 to 50 events every academic year, and we have a number of events coming up, including on February 19th. Yang Shuangzi, the winner of the National Book Award, will be on campus for an in-person event at UCLA with her translator. And we have many other events on race in China, on Chinese interpretation of world dramatic classics in March. But you can follow along with us by joining our Facebook page, joining our mailing list, and we look forward to seeing you at future events. With that, I also want to say a little bit to our audience members who are in the greater Los Angeles region. We know it's been a very difficult and challenging week for many of us and for our UCLA community, and we want to just send our best wishes to everyone that hopefully you've remained safe and your friends and family are safe, and we hope everyone is doing okay during this very challenging time. With that, I'm going to turn the virtual podium, over to my colleague, Professor Helen Reese from the Department of Ethnomusicology here at UCLA, and she is going to have the honor of introducing our esteemed guest, Professor Yang Fuquan, who we are all looking forward to hearing from. But first, let me turn it over to Professor Reese.
Right. Thank you very much indeed. And it is indeed a real honor. I've known Professor Yang now for probably at this point, I think 34 years. And he is a really distinguished researcher. He's researcher emeritus and former deputy director of the Yunnan Academy of Social Sciences. Born in Lijiang, Yunnan province, he is bilingual in Naxi and Chinese and has dedicated his life to documenting the lives, history, and culture of the Naxi ethnic group, and to supporting the preservation, transmission, and appreciation of Naxi traditional knowledge, arts, and skills. He's the author of an enormous number of books about his work and has held visiting appointments in Germany and the US, and was also an advisor to the Smithsonian Folklife Festival Mekong region program in 2007. I've benefited enormously from his guidance and mentorship over the last 34 years. And I respect his scholarship enormously, and I was delighted when he was gracious enough to take up this invitation. So, Yang 老师, over to you.
谢谢。Can I start? 可以说了吗？
Please, 可以。
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, dear friends, and for a long time I don't know to speak English because of this difficult 3 years. So today I will try to pick up my limited English and try to explain clearly about this topic. I will talk with all of you about this transmission of local knowledge. Local knowledge in Chinese is always saying the 地方性知识. Participatory projects for the transmission of folk culture and education in local knowledge among the Naxi. This is some 3 projects, pilot projects, which I carried out during this about more than 10 years. So the photos you see on the left, this is 3 most famous Naxi dongba. So this is called the last dongba masters by some journalists of English, because 20 years ago in Lijiang, really there are very limited knowledgeable dongba priests are still alive. So these 3 are the typical famous dongba masters. Sometimes the people may call them the dongba kao. It means the dongba king, because they are very knowledgeable. Now all of them have passed away. So I talk with the topic is related to the three master dongba and to train their students. So this term, the dongba, is now used by Naxi and other people to call this Naxi's priests. Actually, Naxi's dongba, they don't call themselves I'm a dongba, and they are usually they say and Bumbu. Bumbu, this uh, very limited to the Tibetan Burmanism. They say boom, boo. So the Naxi call their priests. Now we say the priests. There's some scholars they use the shaman, but we have another kind of specialists. They are really shaman. Some of them are women even. So the Tibetan Burmanism, before the Buddhism was introduced to Tibet, they have some kind of local specialists, the ritual specialists. They call the Bon. So Naxi is Bon. And Yi people, they call the Bimo. And Hani, the Bima. They are, I think they have same origins when they in the earlier time that this kind of folk beliefs they are originated from the same source. So the later on the dongba, this term, the scholars believe this dongba maybe originated from English, from Tibetan languages, dongba. So now that we say dongba, and in China that we use often to say the dongba 文化, dongba culture, but in outside China, I think the usually I didn't see that people use much more about this dongba culture. So this is a photo on the left and on the right. This is in some primary village school. Some famous village singer was introduced by us. Yeah, to to teach the children about his knowledge about folklore, about folk music. So this lady, this old lady now is more than 70 years old, but she has practically, she has learned the modern Naxi phonetic scripts, Naxi 拼音文字. This is only one old singer whom I have seen. She knows how to write and how to read this Naxi's phonetic scripts, which is used in the schools and by the people, the 拼音. So this is also, and this year she has published a book. This book is about her songs, and many songs was written by her. Many songs was the old songs she recorded. Then there are some songs is also created by her students. So this is a very interesting thing. This and this old village lady, she doesn't know Chinese, but she has learned that's Naxi's native modern scripts. So she has played an important role in the one of my project in the school. So let us see the. So how to combine research and practices? At present, there are a lot of academic discussions and studies on the protection of cultural heritage and the cultivation of culture transmission. I often feel that what needs to be done right now is to preserve and pass on more successful examples, and namely view pilot projects, which you can show the people how you're trying to do with this transmission. And with this in mind, since 2000, I have carried out several projects, such as Naxi folk culture transmission training and community-based traditional knowledge education, and inheritance and training of traditional handicrafts of ethnic minorities. These projects will, I fortunately, I got some support from a different international organization like a Ford Foundation, Missouri Foundation of Germany, and there are some support. So I could do this. This is just some idea of the Yunnan. You see the Yunnan, the most diverse with ethnic culture. There are 26 ethnic groups, including Han. There are our neighbor, the Laos and the Myanmar, with the border area. Border is as long as more than 4,000 kilometers. So Yunnan is a very particular area of China. So it is considered as a opening gate to the South Asia and the Southeast Asia. So we have a lot of cultural and economic exchange with the neighboring countries. So there was this diverse of climate and the landscape with the culture, with these 26 ethnic groups. You could imagine this Yunnan is really colorful. Also in Yunnan is called 彩云之南, the source beyond the clouds, like some video, like document film shows. So this is just some idea of this Yunnan's landscape. So this is the first band of Yangtze River. Lijiang is called 那个金沙江, but in Naxi's term is Yibi. So this river, it seems is very important for history of the Naxi because this river, the historical record in Han is called the Mosuojiang or Moxijiang, the river of the Moxi people. It means that we know that because this on the both sides of this river, most people are Naxi in earlier time. So there are many historical stories and historical records about this river. So this is first the band of Yangtze. Usually the Meku River and the Yangtze River and the Salween River originated from a high plateau of Tibet and Qinghai, this area. They come down together. So it's called the Sanjiang Bingliu. When the Yangtze River come to Lijiang, just turn to the east. So this river later on that becomes the so-called the mother river of China. So the first bend of Yangtze River, and this is a very important landscape in China. So this is also the important area of Lijiang, of where the Naxi people live. There is a very old town just beside this first bend of Yangtze River. So this is part of the three parallel rivers, Sanjiang Biliu. This is described by UNESCO as a nature heritage of the world. So Lijiang has three big titles. One is the important part of the three parallel rivers. One is the old town of Lijiang, the ancient town, which was considered as long as 800 years old. But according to my study, actually, on the Tang Dynasty, that this town has become some important market. So we can say this with the 1,000 years old history. So this becomes also a hot spot of the tourism today. Every day you can see thousands and thousands of people, especially in the night, and crowded. When I was a child, I was born in this old town. It's very quiet, old town, but now it's very crowded, and it becomes one of the top place where the tourists like to come to visit. But this town is interesting. And they are, according to the surnames of the families, there are 230 surnames in this old town. So from these surnames, you see that most of these surnames are originated from Han. So we can trace back to the history with the Ming and the Qing dynasty. There are a lot of immigrants from a different part of China. Many of them are Han. They come down to Lijiang because Naxi's chieftain family Mu was very open-minded they want to invite the very knowledgeable, very able people from all the parts of China to come to Lijiang. So the Lijiang, there's no wall, and not like many cities of China. Usually there's a big city walls, but the Lijiang has no wall. So this is a town where the people are integrated with high Naxi and Tibet and Bai. Some are Muslims even. So they have an intermarriage. So later on, all these immigrants in the Ming and the Qing dynasty, they are nationalized or they integrated with Naxi. So all of them later on, they they are Naxi. Actually, their ancestors are not Naxi, but this is a typical city where all of this different ethnic groups are nationalized by Naxi. In the other parts of Yunnan, when the Ming Dynasty, when high immigrants come to area, later on the high population has a big influence to the local native people. So many of the native people are nationalized by the Han people. Even they have lost their language. They formerly they may be like in Xuanwei, big county, they may Yi, but later on they becomes a Han, and they have lost the languages. But Lijiang old town is a very typical example where the local native people has nationalized by the majority of the Han people. This is so interesting to study. I think there are many reasons. Of course, the one reason is the Naxi's chieftain family welcome this high immigrants coming to the area. They have brought their knowledge and the architectures of building and many other skills to the area. But in Lijiang, according to the custom, if you want to participate like important rituals, like rituals to worship the heaven and many other things, you must speak Naxi. And even though I was a child, we have a custom that in the most important and serious rituals of Naxi, sacrificed to the heaven, we can't speak other languages. It is forbidden. Even this is forbidden. The other other ethnic groups people participate. So you must pick up the language. You have to know the Naxi language. Then you only then you could live smoothly in this area to communicate with other people. So I think this is also the reason. It's not a majority the culture come to the area, then you just follow the majority's culture and you lost your native culture. So Lijiang is a typical old town. Of course, today there's a lot of change. There are a lot of new immigrants. We call the 新丽江人, new Lijiang people. But I don't think they will like this old immigrants to learn the native people's language, and they have brought many other things. So if we do the study, the present Lijiang old town, there's another example to see the historical difference in the history. So I think that maybe some of you may interested come to do the change, cultural change, social change of Lijiang old town. Today, how it is changed, because indigenous people now in the town almost all migrated to the outside of the old town, because if you have a traditional house, you can get a lot of money by renting the house, and there's also the crowded. This is many reasons. So this is some background. The total population of the Naxi ethnic groups was this kind of this is not much, and this is we say this is not a big ethnic group. So this is just some information that some people believe this is this old town was formed in the Tang Dynasty. Usually, officially, they say it is in the Song Dynasty. but some would think it was formed after 1253 when the Kublai Khan conquered the Dali kingdoms of Yunnan and established the Yunnan province. Or Yunnan province, this Lijiang's this Chinese term was set up during the Kublai Khan's time, Lijiang, beautiful river. The Kublai Khan, there are many stories where the Kublai Khan had first come to Lijiang before he conquered the Dali kingdom. So there's some stories and some, the things about how Kublai Khan becomes good friends of Naxi's king. We say the Naxi is called kingdom, but actually this is 土司 这个 family move. So this is just some idea, some pictures. You see this old town, and there's from photos you see that time this is still famous big market. Today there's no more market. That time in the horse and the T Caravan Road, and this market is very famous. The people come from Dali and the neighboring counties. They often come to do the business in this area. So in this market, on the one side there is a Dali street. Jeller is a term of Dali, where the Dali businessman come to do the business in this market. And Dali people also come to study in Lijiang. That time Lijiang is quite well known with this education and with this commercial business, especially during the Second War. The Lijiang becomes very well known market of this Chama Gu Dao, tea and horse caravan road. So this is just some background, I think. Then we come to the pilot projects in Lijiang. This mentorship, first the mentorship of Naxi culture specialists, dongba priests from 2000. As I said, that time this dongba has increased the dongba's less and less. Now, young people they don't know what is the dongba, because since 1949, with the social change, the dongba believe this religion was considered as not propaganda, but no, this is considered superstitious. So, and I try my best with my colleagues in Lijiang, trying to train some young dongba. So the this photo is he becomes now the very well known dongba priest, and Helen Lee knows him, He Xiudong. This ritual was carried out, was held in the Whitman College. This is some rituals of worship, sacrifice, worship to the nature god. So this is the time. This is, I think, 2003, and he is one of our project, one train the student, and there's this several young people today has become quite well known priests, but that time is just in the training. So this is with dongba master He Kanxiang, very well known with two students, and just we call it dongba, so we just listen some music to hear what is our chanting, because dongba chant their manuscripts is not just read, but they have to use a melody, particular melody. Each rituals they have different melodies to chant, and the manuscripts was written in poetic language. It's like a Chinese Han Chu with the number of the 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 in this way. The the must chant all the stories and methodology was chanted with the particular melody. So let us just come to listen the one melody which priest was will sing in the rituals to propitiation of the poor lovers who committed suicide. because this is a big things when the with the since 1723 there's a lot of culture change, political institutions conflict. So there are a lot really miserable. There are thousands of these lovers who commit suicide because they don't want to follow the introduce the uh, Confucian institutions and arranged marriage and so on. That they have a belief. So I just open this music when He Kanxiang, very good singer, he will sing and in the beginning to talk with this spirit who have committed suicide. He will send them to the kingdom where they like to go. Everything is free, love is free. They are like a family with the tigers and all the animals, like a family, and the youth will never disappeared. Many beautiful descriptions. So he will start with this melody to say how the uh, clean water flowing down from the high sacred mountains, how the beautiful bird flying down uh, to follow you, and how our sacred mountain will how the ancestors and with this uh, uh, famous first woman who committed suicide, very beautiful women, how she come to this area. Such a stories. I just listen her singing. From this melody, we can feel this is a very sad feelings, and because this is rituals to talk with the suicide, love pact suicide people. So this is, songs is quite sad, but it's very beautiful, and it is a long poem. So in this ritual, he will sing the songs for a long time in this way. So I just give you the idea that every rituals of the Naxi Dongba priests, they have a particular melody and to sing in this way. And sometimes the rituals could kept for several hours because it's very long. They will tell stories about the ancestors. They will tell about the spirits and the gods. Like these songs will talk a lot of the how this goddess and the god are living in the sacred snow mountain, and they hope this poor young youth people come to him because this world is too dirty. This world is too terrible. There's no any freedom. And your marriage, your lover, you can't decide yourself. So, and this melody is with a lot of beautiful descriptions. So, and I remember in my field work, and some young people, because they live in such a difficult society at that time, after they hearing these poems, after they participate in these rituals, some of them could go to commit suicide with the lovers because at the time I think the arranged marriage is really terrible things. But arranged marriage you can see in many ethnic groups like Han also have a arranged marriage by the parents. But Naxi is particularly their custom has integrated with this Han culture. Arranged marriage by the parents. But on the other hand, Naxi people also kept the traditional freedom of love. You know, before 18 years old, the parents couldn't encourage you. You should able to go to get some girlfriend and boyfriend. If you are not able, you will look down by your friends. So that before the marriage, they can have a free love. That you can go to some girlfriend and boyfriend to have a love affair and then to sing it to each other. But on the other hand, your marriage was decided when you are still a child, and your marriage was decided by the family. So this was enforced by the institution introduced from the Qing Dynasty in 1723. So it becomes the 恋爱自由，婚姻不自由. Love is free, but marriage is not free. So it's different from for example, the Han, and your marriage was decided by parents when you're a child. So, but you cannot go for love affair with freely. You must stay 淡自归中. Your freedom is controlled. So I think this is an important reason that you still traditionally the adults are encouraged you should have some freedom for as a boys and girls to have love affairs. You can go to the market and you can in the festival you can talk to the people who loved, but then they may have a deep feelings and to love to each other deeply, but you can't get married with the person who you are loved. I think this is very cruel. You must go to your decided partner, whom you may never know. So this is uh, something which is complicated. I have written 3 books about this love pact suicide. I remember Helen has helped me to describe the translate this contents of the Chinese into Hai. So I think this you can see later on that there are some English papers also. So this is just the rule. I say there's Dongba priests, they they follow and they arrange all the things of person's life from you come to the world from a marriage and give a name, and after that you becomes adults, 成年礼. Everything is arranged and followed by such a kind of rituals and ceremonies arranged by the dongba. So dongba, we should say, and they are like your teachers to show you a life way and to give you spiritual and power in this way. So they are all this famous dongbas. Okay, then we started to select of the dongba students. How to select the dongba students? Usually, we selected from the remote villages. Only in the mountain area and the remote villages, you can still see the traditional custom and the traditional rituals. The people's life are still follow the traditional way, and the knowledge of the native knowledge, the indigenous knowledge is quite rich in this mountain areas. Well, so we especially selected some students who already have a good knowledge of the Naxi's tradition. And some students we selected from according to the tradition that from the Dongbas family. So inside their students are grandchildren of a Dongba priest, because Dongba are very much willing to train their member. Like Dongba's transmission is usually he will give this duty as a priest to one of his son. Then his son will and continue this Dongba's family. This is a family transmission tradition. So these students here, we see there some of them are, most of them are come from the villages in the mountains, and some of them come from the Dongbas family. Yeah. So there's two master dongbas discuss of this manuscripts during their lectures. So this is He Jigui, He Kanxian. He's a singer. We just listened, and they will. But these villages are mainly in the remote mountains, and where the traditional folk culture activities are still preserved. The Naxi folk culture is still inherited according to the tradition of father-son transmission among the Dongba. Several successors from Dongba families have consciously selected here. This is one of them, the training method. And in the Dongba Institute, we ask the students to come to the Dongba Institute of Lijiang to sit with Dongba, to stay with Dongba, eating and sleeping in the same area that they can follow. They can ask the Dongba masters knowledge, and the Dongba teach them not according to their traditional way. They have to read by heart in chanting, and they have to learn the dance and the painting, and to do the dove, and everything is according to the Dongba's tradition to train them, and this is one way. Basically, they don't use the Chinese writing to write down. They have to write in the manuscripts in such a way. So the methodology is first to follow the Dongba's tradition. You have to chant several manuscripts, then to learn by heart, and you have to write in pictographic scripts. You have to paint, and many things is according to Dongba's tradition. This is one way. The other way is scholars and Dongba sometimes discuss and to explain Dongba's culture. This contains to the students and more clearly, and also they often after 1 month or several weeks they have to examine this result of the Dongba. The Dongba students also follow the there's elders, there's Dongba to participate some rituals. Like this is one, this is a windy rituals. These rituals, I remember this is specially arranged for the some PhD student from Italy. She, Clan, we call Christina. She has carried out the traditional wedding of Naxi, like my friend, the Charles McCann is the first one in the 1980s. He's the first one to have this Dongba wedding in Lijiang. So this is particularly for this Italian scholars. But I mean, the students must learn from this practice of the rituals. So they have to go with the Dongba to hold the rituals for the people, different rituals, wedding. Sometimes it could be the funerals also. This is one way in the Dongba Institute. They learn what they can. They can anytime they can go to the Dongba teacher to ask questions, and the Dongba teacher will ask them to follow. For example, if you have a manuscript, some story, you can't just orally you use, but you have to sing with the melodies, special melodies, and. On the other hand, we ask these students after study, for example, and in a half year, 3 months in the Dongba Institute, that they must go back to the villages to learn more folk knowledge and to participate these rituals in the villages. So here the photo which shows this is a Dongba student. He looks quite old, but he is not so old. He learned knowledges. He have known many stories. So and he told these children about the Donbass stories, how the and human being and nature spirit, nature goddess are brothers, how they come to fight to each other because the uh, spirit of the because the human being and natural God, natural spirit Su. We believe in the male scripts there are brothers with same father and different mother, but later on the human being are to as becomes timeline the treaties. They burned too many forests to kill too many wild animals, so they disturb his brother, nature god. So the nature god come to punish the human being. The human being are very much frightened. There are so many disasters come down. So they ask the founder, we say that as founder of the Dongba religion to set down this conflict between the human being and nature God. So later on, they make agreement to some agreement that they becomes friendly again. This is show the Naxi people have been aware of this. If human being disturb the nature too much, then they will certainly they will have disasters, calamities. So he tell this children about this story. This story is quite interesting. This reflected the real lessons the Naxi people learned in their life. The nature should be treated nicely, and you can't be too much greedy. And so in this way, they will stay in the villages for another long time to learn to practice their knowledge they learned from the old Dongbas, and they will follow and they will participate in this rituals and the festivals. They will learn from some old people of the village knowledges. Then they come back to the institute and to talk with the Dongba teachers, what they have seen and what they have done. So I think in this way, it is we say the training class is one way in the institute with Dongba teachers, with the scholars. But on the other hand, they have to go back to the communities to practice their knowledge and to learn more knowledge. The knowledge they learned from the communities may be different from their elders, from their Dongba teachers. So we use this both way to train this about 8 students. And now most of these students becomes now very well-known specialists, well-known Dongba. Some have been selected as a provincial level, so-called intangible culture specialists. We have this system in the national level, provincial level, prefectures level, and county level. So some of them, like He Xiongdong, has become a provincial level specialist. So she has learned quite well. So I feel this kind of training is important that they should not just come to the training class to learn. That's not enough. They must practice their knowledge in their villages. In both ways, that they learn really quite well. So this is a major methodology we use in the first pilot projects. The result shows is quite good. All students now has continued their ancestors' job and to practice in the villages as well as in the official rituals. Also, they are quite well. No, so students play an important role as a heritage in the community folklore. You see from the photos, this is what they are participate. This is this ritual is called the repaid days to the trees because Naxi people feel every year they have to build their houses, they have to cook, they use a lot of firewood, so they have days. They have days to the nature, so they just by these rituals, they show excuse of them. They say, we have used the materials from you, the nature god, too much. So now we come to say our thankful to your giving these things. So I think with this communities activities, this Dongba's knowledge has been related to the reality, to the community's life. So this is quite good. We hope this kind of training and learning could be kept in such a way If they're only in the villages, sometimes you may have no good, knowledgeable dongba. So they should come to the places where you can meet the good dongba teacher and to discuss. Then you come back again to learn. This is not only with the dongba religion, but it's also with the other folk music. This is important to practice and to learn from face to face, and then they come back to the villages. I think this is, I feel this is quite successful to use such a training way. And in Yunnan, he knows such a good examples, like Tianfeng's this 这个原生态传行班，这 is kind of similar way, but there's an argument. If you only learn in such a training classes far away from the rural area, then you have left your hometown, then you may lose your basic foundation of this folk culture. So I think it's a good way to combine both sides in this way. So this is the first uh, parish project. That way, we have done a lot of things. We're also invited by the Taiwan Historical History Study Institute that come there, and also hold some rituals in the Taiwan to have a cultural exchange. Then the children in the weekend they come to learn the Dongba pictographic scripts. They learn and then they make some sentences by their way, like the sentences they write that I go to the sea with this boy, but this boy and scold me or something like that. Interesting things. So now the students have started to carry on their duties to have international cultural exchange. Like this He Xiudong, he has come to Germany, also come to 2 months in the United States to show his ability to how. It's interesting that when He Xiudong come to the Whitman College, he he saw that so many birds and many good forests and good trees. So he told me, I'm sure I can communicate with the spirit of nature in Whitman College because I see everything so nice. I have a ability, and I'm sure I can communicate with this nature spirit. So he has a belief. So in the Whitman College, he feels very good. He has talked and communicated with this local spirit. It's interesting. Some professor, he is also shaman in this college. He come to He Xiudong to exchange the ideas about the shaman and about the how to communicate with the spirit in the how to deal with this nature. So they have discussions in 2003. So this is the first pilot projects. This okay. The project promoted local government attention also to the inheritance of Dongba culture funded by the Lijiang Municipal Bureau of Culture. The project set up the Culture Mentorship Center of Shuming Village, Shuming 村 Dongba 文化传承点. The project promoted the enthusiasm of the community to protect the heritage Dongba culture. More people learn Dongba culture knowledge, and more local folk culture activities are consciously carried out. Because as you know, since Cultural Revolution years, many young people have no idea, never see any kind of traditional rituals. By these activities of our project, then young people also are encouraged to learn more. Many other people are also encouraged to continue their festivals, to continue their knowledge, and to pick up again the lost knowledge from the ancestors. And that the government also feel this is quite good, so they also come to some award to this priests because this priest now is also considered by government as a 文化传人. This that has become important people who make propaganda and to carry out the local knowledge. It is also good for cultural exchange and the tourism. So, and they also promoted a lot of activities of community people, festival and rituals. Many lost rituals have been restored again. And they have come to do the, like if you have a baby, they will ask the dongba to hold some small rituals to give a name and to give some lucky show charge some good manuscript to give a good future, such things. The second is priority project is to preserve the endangered Baisha xiyue. This is the music tradition, because I feel this dongba is one important major culture element, but the other things like this Baisha xiyue, it is also in danger. That time that Helen that knows very well that another kind of music, 动机音乐, is very welcomed in the tourist market by Mr. Xuanke. So they got a lot of benefits from the performance. But on the other hand, this Baisha xiyue, this more traditional Naxi music was in the danger because they cannot come to perform in the market the things. So, and we try to help this music 和茂根 to train some students. This music is quite well known. This has been in the national level intangible culture, 国家级非遗. Because there's a story, this music is when the Kublai Khan came to Lijiang in 1253, he becomes a very good friend with the Daxi's chieftain, Man Liang. And before he left Lijiang to conquer the Dali, he gave him as a gift musician group, given this a small group of the musicians to the family. That time they are not called a family more, but to the Man Liang. So this kind of music has becomes Naxi chieftain's family music. Later on, it come to the community, to the common people. So the integrated with the Naxi's folk music, that becomes a particular music, and some instruments was studied by the Mongolia musicians. I read their papers. Some musicians, the music instrument of the music are come from the Mongolia's area to the north, even earlier than Mongolia's time. Helen Lees knows very well this, so I think I will not explain much. But this kind of music is usually they often performed in the funerals. But after 1949, this kind of activities has declined. So there are few village people play this music. And this kind of music even looked down by the educated or by the urban people, because urban people think the Taoist music is great. But this is 阳春百学. 另外, this is 下里巴人, this is low music. So in many ways, this kind of music is getting declined. So we give financial support and to ask this, we call the last master with He Ma Gen to train some students, including his son, He Ma Gen, and some village people. So this is training ways also quite similar in the villages. They learned, played perform the music. Then they also they should learn the custom with the related to this kind of music. There are also some they must learn some song and particularly of course to learn this kind of melody, this music. Then some students come from the local villages. According to the tradition, they can train their children, so they also train the children. And now the family has become whole the family can perform this Baisha xiyue. And this Baisha xiyue is a particular. So you they started. So this you just listen. There are many different melodies. So now they are quite successful, and they have continued to perform this music in the different places and different societies. So I think this kind of pilot project is focused on folk music, which has been declined gradually, and which is different from Taoism music, which is quite popular, especially and they are very well known in the tourist market. And this why is not, but we particularly support this kind of music. So now they have come to the list of the national intangible culture heritage. And tourism music is not yet come to the national level. So He Lijiang, he becomes also national level specialist of this music. So this is this. Now I just introduced some indigenous knowledge education project, Baisha Elementary School, Baisha Township Yulong County, with the training of dongba priests, dongba culture, and the indigenous music of this Naxi, Baisha xiyue. On the other hand, we are particularly in favor that if you don't have an education system, if you don't try to teach these young children to learn some native knowledge, if they only learn the national edited texts, then they will lose their traditional knowledge. So the primary school is very important to let the pupils to learn some indigenous knowledge, to learn some of their ancestors' knowledge. So I selected this Baisha Xiaoxue, Baisha Wanxiao, to carry out this kind of this is not a training, but how to integrate it with the national knowledge of the schools with this native knowledge. So we try to carry out another project in the primary school to learn how to deal with these students to learn something about the so that by painting and you see they know they come to learn how to know your environment and they use the paintings in a way that they explain their understanding of the environment and their agriculture And also we ask the students could draw the map about the community, about the village, which they can give them very good information about how many families and where there are. In this way, we ask them to learn together with the teachers and the scholars to discuss what kind of knowledge they like to learn. We also interviewed the families of the village there, what kind of knowledge they hope the students to learn. And uh, teachers and the students and scholars come to do the field work together and to interview the people and finally to decide what kind of knowledge text learning book we should make should make. So later on we use this learning text, Baisha, my hometown, and we have describe the detailed way and how what we do. So the first we do the field work. We interview the people together with the students and the teachers. Usually, formally, all the schools learning text was just written and just described by the teachers. They have some teachers, and then they write down. Then you have to learn what the teacher has written. But in our method, there's a way do this work together. Even the family members of the students they should come and to discuss how. And then we also ask like a folk uh, singers and knowledgeable elders come to the school to show their knowledge, music, and custom festivals. Then talk with the students in a good way, with the participatory way, and that we also arrange that the students come to interview the famous like herbal doctors and copper makers, and to talk with them how the their tradition, like copper makers, how many generations they have done this, and what kind of process they have. That all students should come to learn this, and then to discuss, to decide what we should learn. So, and with the text, that actually there's interesting that we have our courtyard, our village, our my family contents is quite interesting. Like, and also the uh, what in my eyes of my village environment and my family. So they use quite a simple way to write down the basic knowledge. You see, and this a lot of discussion. Then we also encourage the children not just learn the uh, learning text in the school. They also can select something they like music. They learn play the instrument. And in free time, they can learn football. The football is quite well known among the Naxi people, particularly in the Baisha township, is very well. And in this way, they feel relaxed from the just learning the school text. If you only learn the text, then their life is really very hard. And only learning and learning the examinations. So we ask the children to select their some favor. So there are more than almost the 20 boys were later selected by the uh, different football team in the national level and the provincial level because they're really very good. And on the other hand, their examination to go to the middle school is also quite high. So I feel this is important that we cannot just encourage the students to get a good market, to have a good examinations market. This is not enough if you only learning and 考试，only this way that they I think their thinking and their mind is also is not good for them. But this way, they play some music and football and also dancing and painting and they feel relaxed from the hard study in the classroom. So this school is always in the top level of the examination to the middle school. So I think this is a good way, and this is also the problem today that if you go to the primary school, the learning in the classroom, learning of the uh, national levels texts is really hard. So we try to make both. That they learn the indigenous knowledge, their history, their custom, their rituals, and there are many things from the from their family, from the elders, and this is quite good. So this primary school has become a good model of how to uh, learn and from both way, how to pick up this indigenous knowledge. So even the students from the other ethnic group, they can speak Naxi in the school because this is a basic knowledge that they have to learn the Naxi language. So I met several students from Bai and Yi, that all of them can talk in Naxi. So now today in Lijiang, this is quite quite limited, very rare. And you see the photos, interview the copper makers and play the instrument. They learn the by painting, they express their things. This is because like my father is a forest guard, forest protector. They use Naxi writing. Then the another one is his. This is a resource of forest. Use it in such a way that they use the traditional painting of dongba, and yeah, we described in this learning text that our house, our family, our livestock, our clothing, our food, water and water use, our sacred Yunnan mountain, forest resources and management, our agriculture calendars, and so on. That also introduces some well-known people of this area. So this is the way we this learning text, we don't occupy the learning time. They can read in the free time, but they learn the knowledge in such a flexible way, and it's not a very serious way, but they learn this kind of knowledge. This is a primary school. I think in the middle school that they're learning of the native local knowledge, you should have another step. This is a primary school's way, and the students feel quite happy that their paintings are selected by the 教育部, by the education minister to use for their text because their paintings they are based on the idea of their thinking, their understanding of the local environment, local village, and with the special painting method of dongba pictographic script. So this is this kind of pilot projects. So that you see we train the ritual specialists. Dongba, this is a very traditional old way. That musicians, which is in danger by decline, then they will come to the school. Our goal is to let the children feel happy and to feel it's necessary to learn the motherland's knowledge. They shouldn't give up this village's knowledge. There are a lot of good knowledge, including this agriculture, medicine, music, and also ethnicity, many things that they can learn. In this way, that I think this is a good, will be good for their middle schools learning and universities learning also. This is a basic base. So this is a brief introduction of this. The fourth is the fourth part project is train the young women to learn the handicrafts, because I feel that about 10 years ago, the women under the 40 years old, their handicraft skill is getting declined, and few people could still keep these cultures in hand. Once I was invited to participate in some conference of study in Germany, that I introduced this things, how the traditional culture is getting declined under the influence of the uh, huge majority culture from outside. Even these cultures in the hand is declined. There are only some agers, old people still able to do traditional handicrafts, but the many young people have lost this knowledge. So, like Missouri Foundation, then they talk with me, and then they like to do with me together to train the young ethnic people to learn the handicrafts. So we have done some training class in some village nearby nearby the old town of Lijiang. We trained for 4 years. The students, including Naxi, Moso, Tibet, and Bai, Lisu ethnic groups. The In this way, they will try to keep this traditional knowledge of handicrafts, how to make a clothes and how to use the local materials to this. So we invited some knowledgeable person who still have a very good knowledge of handicrafts come to give lectures and to teach these children to learn every day from step by step to learn. So we have done this in the first 2 years. The result is quite good. So they continued for the second term. So this is 4 years of training. Then these young girls have learned a lot. Some of them they opened some small shop to do their business. They also work together with the other village women to do their clothes and weaving and many things, towels, many things. So the local some businessmen from outside, and they are also very interested in this kind of this is handmade materials. So they come to buy the things. Again, these students work with the village people, and they have become a union to carry out this local, real indigenous clothes and things. So they have some profits of the economy also after learning, after doing this kind of business. So this has kept for years that the many businessmen also like to buy. Of course, this has been impacted later on by Yiwu, by machine-made products introduced from Yiwu and Jiangsu, Zhejiang. They come down to the Lijiang, then the price is very low, very low. So you can't compete with this kind of machine-made materials. So this is really a great problem that you have done very good work with handmade materials, but the market was disturbed by the, this is a free market, so they have a lot of this machine-made materials. So you can't compete with them. So now these students, some of them still keep this handmade products in their families, in their villages. And formerly we have a good plan to introduce the products even to the European countries, because the Missouri Foundation have some experiences. but because of different reasons, and also because this little or this, we can't continue to do this. But I feel happy that still there are some students do this and they got some job and they have continued this. They learn handicrafts of so-called we saw the culture in hand. So this is a project we try to encourage the people to continue their uh, handicrafts work in a way. So I think this is successful, but in future we have to think that how to compete and how to do the feasibly good way with machine-made products and hand-made machines. Some people only like the handmade materials, but in the tourist market today, you, common tourists they will just see the price. The price is very low, then they will and buy this machine made. But it's interesting. Sometimes you see that in the market, in the shop, there's some, for example, Miao women will put on his costume, traditional costume, and to do something with hand. Then, or beside her, there are a lot of products, but actually these products are not really made by hand. But this business was to show the people these things are made by hand, but actually it's not. This is made by machine. So in China, Yiwu is a famous place where the products are well sold everywhere internationally. So it is difficult to compete with this such a kind of machine products. So I think this we have to try to get another way to to encourage this village people to continue this kind of handicrafts. Because handicrafts is good, also price is high, but it's really indigenous culture. And if so, today there's a criticism very often to say that everywhere in China, every famous town like Lijiang, we see this tourist products are same everywhere. Many of them are come from the same place, but this is a free market, so it is difficult to control. I heard from Missouri's this friend, some very successful examples from Nepal and the things. They have their products, they sold quite well in the European countries because they have come to the good system. They know where they can be sold and where the people like to buy these things. We have not yet come to this step because of many reasons, and as still, I think in future we still like to try because today, also in all this places like Lijiang, they are also thinking how to get out this good gift 伴手礼, they use a term to attract the tourists and attract the people. And 文化产品, how to make a good culture products in a proper way, and not just learn and impacted by the international or national this products made by machines. So I hope this project could continue to encourage the local people to think about how to and hand over our this knowledge for handicrafts, but how to also get market profits from their products. Otherwise, they cannot, live without any income. So this from this project, I feel also it is really need not just your products, but you need to have a market way, good channel to go to the market. You could have some kind of network to do this, but today we could not work with this our old friends from like Missouri Foundation. So it is another way we have to try to think again, because this is based on the community's levels, we want to help the village people to get some profits from their traditional culture. So this is a fourth project. Then from this, you see that we are trying this kind of pilot project in spite of my scholarly studies, because I feel it is very necessary to do some practical work to help the local people in terms of this rituals and education, music, and the handicrafts. So from this kind of pilot projects, I hope in future we, my friend and my people in Lijiang could carry out more successful things and to keep this attraction of Lijiang and this value of Naxi's culture and in proper way. This is the products. This is quite welcomed by the Tibetan area. This is some Tibetan people like this kind of designs. Then this towers are quite welcomed in some years, but since this evils that from Zhejiang, this machine things come down, that and this is really face the difficult time then. So I think this is what I think. I'm a scholar. My duty is really to study, writing papers and books. But this during the years, I always feel if I have some resources, if I could do something to help the local people, to encourage the people to continue their culture, including their mother tongue, because many children now they have getting lose their mother tongue and many other skills, many cultures. So this is, I feel this is a duty as a local native scholar. We should try our best to do something. So we have done some other many things, but this is some so-called pilot projects which we feel and some experience we can share with you. Here I and Helen encouraged me to also introduce some my study. So with the study of my work, this one to all dongba religion study. This has come to the National Achievement Library of Philosophy and Social Sciences. This is considered in China as a top result of the academic study. So this book is a big book. What if you are interested in it, you can come to see this one. Every province usually maybe 1 year could be one book could be selected as. So this one is I would like to introduce you if you later on if you like to understand what is Dongba religion. We say Dongba religion. We have no term for religion in Naxi town, but about Dongba relations with Dongba and Buddhism and Taoism. This book has given a detailed introduction and studies. So and one can see that I have written some cultural history of the Naxi. So this can pick up to see to understand is Naxi's different cultures. And Naxi is a ethnic group with the very diverse cultures. The Dongba, the Chinese Buddhism, Taoism, the Tibetan Buddhism. Tibetan Buddhism, there are several schools that you can find out in this area. Many Ganjuba, Gamaba, and Galuba, and Nimaba, and all have their places. So I think this you can read this book. The Suicide for Love about the Naxi people. I did this for many years. So I have written 3 books. Some books are written in this literary way the stories. So this book is as a academic study, as a anthropological studies. So you see the chapters. I give some introduction to this book. So this book was selected by some years ago by China's 300 scholars come to select 300 books. So my book was selected by this as one of 300 books. So this book has given the all studies the introduction of this love pact suicide, the suicide for love, what kind of things, why, what kind of reasons. So maybe one can pick up to see. Maybe in the international, uh, in the website, you can also find out some English introduction, the English books, English papers of this kind of study for uh, love suicide, love pact suicide. Then one of my studies to study the historical relations of Naxi and Tibetan ethnic groups. And so this book is quite well covered. So there's printed for 3 times with different designs. So and in China, I feel to study the high culture, high history is popular. To study the big ethnic group like Tibet and Mongolia, also there are some result. But it is very few academic studies about this focused on the historical relations between the different ethnic groups. So this is my PhD thesis. But the Tibet and Naxi I focused as one, but there are very few academic workers in China now that to study this. This is important, but this is really very still very limited. For example, in the northwest, in Yunnan, the historical relations between the different ethnic groups is so important. But I feel this field is still really very new. There's not much studies of, but this is important. Like Yunnan, there are 26 ethnic groups. They are so harmonious to study. They live together. Each village, there are several ethnic groups sometimes. In Yunnan, there's no one county only with a single ethnic group. There are always many. So how they, in the history, how they live together, what kind of communication they have, in terms of cultures, commercials, and also religions. This is actually very interesting topic as what now still we say this is still we should open the new field. Yeah, this give some examples. I always say that I have not yet seen the one book about the it's so important the bi-ethnic group and the Naxi, how their relationship, and the Li Su and the Yi and the Naxi, they are very, very few. So I hope in future if you any of you that are interested in, you can also come to this field to study the, for example, the study of this Chama Gudao, the tea and the horse caravan road. This is a typical road where the different ethnic groups have a lot of uh, relationship and communication, and in terms of culture and religion as traders. But this we still needed to do study. For example, the host team, on the way they help to each other, how they deal to each other. They have many different customs. So I think this kind of study should considered as important field with the study of sinology, study China. So this is one of uh, my study. You can also just have a look. Recently, I read a book. I put all the short and the long papers of my thinking about the Naxis and about Lijiang's development, about the change of cultures and the historical relations with different ethnic groups. What is happening since 1978 opening of China? So all ideas I put on this book to express my thinking of this many things. And so this is a recent book about the thinking of Lijiang. And there are a lot of problems I also described in these papers. So, and this is one. Just this year, I published a book about I say that to to this is title is about thinking about the culture and development. So this is a broad way to express my thinking and ideas about what is the culture and what happened with the culture in present China. What is the problem with the development? So this is a new one. This is I talk with whole China. Of course, Yunnan is important, but I feel it is necessary to communicate with the colleagues to the students and to the people about some of my thinking, including the culture's change and the decline of the traditional knowledge and tourist relations of tourism and the present change and many things. So this is I just give a brief introduction. And then I was encouraged by my students. So I have some WeChat official account with my real name, so you could easily open the internet website. There you can see many. I have about 1,500 papers already in the internationally one can see. So I would like to share with you, and if some topic you may be interested in, you can just pick up, because my writing is always with a lot of photos. Some photos are very old. It's precious now, like with Xuanke's performance in the earlier 1990s. I have photos also. So with this this WeChat account, I would like to share with you that you can pick up some informations. Some of them may be useful for your interest, and it just give some information to you. This is many of them are write in the literature way, 文学化 and this time field work notes. So this is and I think you can just pick up uh, uh, to see some of your interest. So with my this the very limited English, I introduced this project as really very difficult, but it's just some idea. I show you some pictures, which I think this you maybe some topic you may go deep little, and this is also some experience as a scholar. We he is doing the studies. He also faced such a problem that he tries to do something uh, useful for the local people. And today, every day we have new problems that we still needed to do the uh, more studies. Then, like Henry Rees has done very good work about Naxi's music life and Naxi's traditional Taoism music, also folklore, folk music. And she also helped that our one of the most well-known good singer He Jinghua published his some discus, and I think she has done very good contribution to the Lijiang and Naxi culture. So I would like to express my thankful to the Hanlui. It's very good. So, and I think this is all what I like to introduce to you. This four poetry projects. I I hope and in future we can have more close communication and to do something in present China with the good development, but also a lot of problems. And this is also a challenge to the scholars. I think every day you have new problems with this many things, and it is worth to think. Uh, how to do. So I think the different scholars from different area should come to share the ideas and to communicate more. Then let us face to the new situation of China, of the ethnic groups, and the development of tourism and cultures, but decline of the traditional indigenous culture, both sides, and how the my generation and older generation what they are thinking, but also the young generation what is their interest, the how to and push in good way, like Harris, he's done good study of the Taoism music, like Lijiang 大雅古乐队. This in the prosperity time is really every day they perform 3 times, but now it is changed, and they are very quiet and they are limited. People just go to see this kind of Taoism music performance. There's reasons. Of course, there are many people say the 90后 2000年后, the young generations, their favor for the music is also changed a lot. But this is only one reason. There's must have other reasons why this famous music, Taoism music, 大雅古乐队 has suddenly it has getting declined. And the some of kind of music has welcomed by the tourist market and also by the other people. So everything is changed. So I think the reasons and why it is changed, this we needed to do more studies. So I hope you, my friends, you in future you could come to focus on something which you can do the studies. I think it should be very interesting. And now I'm happy that's so-called Yang xue from the universities. It becomes popular. This so-called Yang xue study and learning. Every year there are some groups will come from the Beijing University, Tsinghua University, and other universities come to the area. On the one hand, they can come to see the places, some kind of tourism. But on the other hand, they come to some village and they stay more time and then they ask the scholars give lectures. And then they also, everyone will write some paper. I think this is a very good thing. I say this is some kind of deep cultural tourism because the PhD students and the master students, they come down to the area, they are thinking, they are observing. So they sometimes they get very good ideas. As far as I know, this few years I give lectures to the Nankai University, famous university. They have every year they have some 养学班, study and learning classes in Lijiang. Every year they will come. The students come from the whole China. They ask everyone, you can just, if you like, you can just come. Then some village in Lijiang never been studied, but since this kind of study and learning classes, the students have started to write some village. This I focused on one village. Then I think it's also good for the local culture, for local development. The local people could see the ideas of outsiders, what their eyes, what is Lijiang's problems, what is Yunnan's problems. So this is something which I am happy to see in recent years, so-called 养学班. And a few years ago, Harlan is very clear that United States sent many groups of the United States, like Whitman College, come to Lijiang. The students will stay 1 week or 10 days. They also do some study, and then they will write some papers. I think this is a very good way. Then on the other hand, you have come to the visit the places is also some kind of 旅游. Also, you have a good expression of this landscape and cultural things. But on the other hand, you give ideas to the local people. This kind of international sharing, I think this is very important. So in this lectures, this is my hope that in future, I hope we can do some study, focus on some small things you feel you are interested in that to start your studies. I think this is what I can talk. So really,
谢
excuse my
谢。
English, and my really, really English, as I should every day pick up some English, then it's
Thank
maybe
you.
much
It was
better.
great.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you, Yang Lao Shi.
Thank
We
you.
have
Thank
a
you.
couple of questions submitted by the attendees. I will let Helen read them to you.
Okay, and thank you, Professor Yang, for a really wonderful talk. The practical side of your work is amazing on top of the extraordinary amount of scholarship. So the first person to ask a question is Chen Meizhen from UCLA Ethnomusicology Archive, and she says, thank you, Professor Yang, for your insightful talk. In your first case study, I'm curious about the reactions of dongba, the local communities where the dongba are, when trained priests return to practice these rituals. How are these activities perceived and accepted by the community? There must be some variations in how the same ritual is performed across different villages. How do the trained priests and the Dongba Institute address and negotiate these differences? Thank you.
If you want to see the questions, if you click on the Q&A underneath, you'll be able to see the written questions as well. 杨教授，你看得到吗？
我还没有看到这个问题在哪里，这个具体
问题在
的问题。
底下 Q&A 那里有一个，就是大家
哦，
text submit 的，对，你把它点开，
我应该点开哪一个？我看
就是 Q&A。
Q。
算是问答吗？讨论区。
OK。
对对对，刚刚 Helen 是念了第一个问题。
Yeah. About the reaction of Dongba local communities when trained priests return to practice their rituals. How are these activities perceived and accepted? Okay, this I think this is quite good because the village people and the other Dongbas, they know these students are learned from a very with a high prestige, with very good Dongba. So they learned something from this Dongba, especially with this manuscripts, written manuscripts. So they also respected them. They will discuss with this trained student and what you have learned, how your teacher think about this some kind of rituals. They in detail they will ask questions. They will have exchange ideas. Sometimes there's community people and a priest in the villages will also say that, oh, in this village, in this area, your teacher, what your teacher said is a little bit different from us. So this becomes some kind of a good function that one can share the different ideas and village Dongba and village people can learn from this trade Dongba what kind of knowledge that they've learned, because usually the village Dongba's knowledge is not as rich as this Dongba elders. So uh, they are very curious to ask questions. But on the other hand, they also tell the trained Dongba and the reality of this village's rituals is rather different from this old Dongba teaching, because this Dongba come from the different villages. Their custom of Dongba is a little bit different always. But what is good things they share to each other. So they are curious, but also they come to discussion there. This students will come back to tell the teachers what he has learned from the community. This is one thing. Additionally, I assume there's maybe relation in how the same ritual is performed across different. Yeah, this is really this is the same things with the painting, with the content of the painting or the slice or the paper. There's always something different. So, and Dongba students learn from their teachers, but the three teachers come from different areas, so their painting and explanation is rather different. So, but they learned deep meanings or the paintings, so they have no much more knowledge. But if they come to the different area, they should explain. My painting is based on some what kind of dongba or where this painting is a method of the some certain area. So in this way, I think it's some kind of Donbass communication and exchange of the ideas. Even they have learned from well-known Donba masters, but they can still Donba very open, frank. They tell that, oh, this is the style of Yin, this is the style of Daodong. This is one way. Like, you know, the Ludian township is well known with this phonetic scratch manuscripts, but there are only very few Dongba there. They know that. So this kind of a difference between the communities and area, with this communication and learning and sharing, the Dongba know better, understand it better. I think so. This kind of these are good questions. I think is important. So there's two questions. That third, TV probably hard.
Yeah, so the second question.
Yeah, third
Yeah.
one. Oh, yeah. I come to the Yunnan. Oh, yeah, what's Lumi's question? For exams of the primary school, my my project is we don't make this as a real examination come to the official levels. We have examinations, but this will not impact your second study. It will not impact on your continuous learning in the middle school. But we will have some encouragement, some kind of award to them. We just ask them to pick up this favor to study. Then this is and I think the students will not feel it's difficult to have another. Otherwise, you have 4 or 5 lectures, but you have one more is really difficult. So we try to encourage them. This is just some favor you like to pick up and you like to learn. So after even they come to the middle school, they still keep this hobby to do. And so with the Yunnan, this is another example. But Longli also we have talked about last year. I heard there's some teacher from Kunming to do the to teach in the Yongli's school. They say she says that all the old adults, there's a grandma, great parents have to go to learn the Putonghua, Mandarin, Chinese because they can't communicate to talk with their grandchildren. This is very sad. So I also says this they should try uh, other way. The children should learn the Putonghua in schools, but as far as they come back to the home, they should pick up this mother tongue to communicate. And then the parents should use the interesting language to talk with a lot of interest to talk with children. Let them feel this is not some kind of a study and difficult. This is just for fun, for life. So in this way, children should learn mother tongue, not old adults that go to learn 普通话. This is very upset, I think. And this is one thing. The other thing is, I'm happy to see that dongba and daba both have communications. 因为 daba priests of Mosul and they don't have a writing system, so now they have a chanting, very long chant, but they can't write down. So suppose if they are too old or they pass away, their knowledge will be gone. So now the dongba come to help the daba to record down in the pictographic scripts the chanting that they write down every word by word. So it's even more easy to learn the dongba manuscripts. So I think this kind of communication between the dongba and the daba priests is very good way to record down their chanting, because daba only have oral chanting. So it is a danger if they have gone and nobody knows, nobody can read. I think this is one way. The other way is I learned some young singer of Mosul have created some phonetic scripts like Naxi's 拼音文字. If this could be opened to learn, this will be very good for the Mosul people to continue their traditional records. Because I think the Yunnan, Mosul's one really danger is that their mother tongue is getting declined in rapid way, and even this the older grandmother and grandparents they have to go to learn the Mandarin. I think it's really sad. So I hope this they can go to the Baisha Wanxiao primary school to share some experience and to learn each other. I once introduced the Daozui, the Sichuan some Naxi village nearby the local lake. They come to the Baihua school because both sides all have a good way, their own way to continue to learn their culture. So and yeah, I think manage of how to learn the culture and the language is one should have more exchange of the ideas. So that Yunnan school, I suggest that there should one or two teachers with some students that they can in the holiday they can go to the school to see, to observe, to learn, and to communicate. This is a practical way, and also they can go to Dazui village, which is just nearby the Yunnan. It is very close. That they can go to learn this school in Dazui village. Their learning school is also quite good. So this is my suggestion. Transmacan is well, in some minority area of China, there be trend of closing down small local schools in favor of larger. Yeah, this is doesn't live with the. Yes, this is a big problem. This is we often we heard a lot of this complaint, but how to solve this problem is really we still have to give more suggestions to the government. On the other hand, also now the bilingual education is getting face the more difficulties, because now in every school you may have students, maybe majority is Naxi, but there are also other ethnic groups. So it's difficult to carry out the traditional bilingual education. It's really difficult. Not even in Naxi area, Tibetan area, Lhasa is also same. And formerly we have a bilingual education, 双语教学. The 双语教学 now is really facing the challenges as difficult to do, because in one class you have different ethnic groups students, and more integrated classes are here, so it's really difficult. My idea is I encourage the Naxi people. I say that the family maybe is last part of this mother tongue's keeping, because many families and now what, as I said, when they come back, their children, grandchildren speak 普通话 with the old elders. It's really very poor, because 普通话 you every day you in the school, you every day you learning, you are speaking, but when you come back you should have another fun, you should have another channel to learn the living the knowledge, and for fun you talk with your parents and grandparents in other way. So I think it's really not difficult to do. I know that some of my friends, their child can learn the Naxi language very well in Beijing, in Kunming. My daughter is also, because my daughter grew up in Kunming, but I asked her when my mother telephoned her, my mother's high talk is very poor, very limited, but his Naxi language is so good. So I told my daughter, try in Naxi to talk with the grandma in Naxi and listen her stories. In this way, she has kept the Naxi mother tongue. There's many other examples. So I said it's not completely, no, nothing is conflict. You learn the 普通话, you speak every day with your classmates and the teachers. It's okay. But when you come back, you should turn to your mother tongue. There's a lot of fun. There's also change for your thinking way, and you can come to another word with by thinking, because the grammar is also different. Grammatical explanation is different. Your pronunciation is also different. This is a very good way to use another language, and when you come return from school. But nowadays, this is still difficult to do so. The schools impact on the students is really very huge, very. This we still have to try to let the more people understand, and how happy and how fun, how much fun you could have when you talk with your family. And I said, not just talk serious way, you just tell stories, interesting stories, joke. In this way, the mother tongue could be continued in the families. Otherwise, it's really difficult in the schools now. And the Chinese question is this. I think this is a really problems. My question is about 古二代. Yeah. Yeah. This, yes. Yeah. That's right. 古二代, this becomes second generation of the old town. This way often talk about 古二代. They have quite a bit of money, but they really, many of them have lost their interest to study more and to keep the mother's cultures. So, but on the other hand, there's some 古二代. They are very good to use new way. For example, the interpreter, the famous film from Hong Kong or Taiwan, the West countries, in Naxi language. And there's a lot of fun. And they change the Naxi language and to show often in the internet. I think this is a very good way. We see this interpretation is so fun, so funny. So some of 古二代 is doing this kind of things, and I think we should encourage them more, and to encourage them not to just rely on the income from your houses, but also try to do something, because you have now resource of income, so you can come to another interesting activities. So some 古二代 like Xiao Yuguan and some quite well known with this singing and with new songs, with mother tongue songs. So the we still needed to talk more about this Guarda. Of course, some Guarda is really because of money, so they have lost the interest to do the jobs. So, but this we have a lot of communication by WeChat, and with group WeChat, we exchange and sometimes discuss and sometimes with a lot of problems.
I think the last question was actually the Chinese translation of the
Oh,
second.
oh,
I think we already answered.
oh.
I think there was one point.
Yeah. I think this we can do in such a like my project that I have this project, so we can introduce to the other schools. The other schools could come to share or to learn, to discuss. As I said, like Yao school, then the teachers and they come to discuss this. You cannot copy, but I think this depends on the whether this school's master is interested in or not. This important is that you cannot introduce this to a school, but the teachers and the masters of teachers, they should have this idea that they should come to learn. They should have an interest. So like Dazhui village's master of school, then he's very much interested in, so they come to Lijiang to go to visit. They even invited the Naxi dongba in Lijiang to help them to recover and restore the rituals for worship to the heaven. They have stopped for years, but because of the village leaders and the village people, they are interested in, so they come to discuss and invite the dongba. So the Lijiang said some dongba, and now there's rituals that for worship of heaven have been recovered. So Ruby's question for this, I think, is similar. Uh, how to help the surrounding this school to learn this methodology. I think one way is if we have some channel, we can have some workshop that to invite some schools to come to share their experience. I think this maybe we can do without the support of the government. Even we have some, like both of us have participated in this workshop. I think in such a way we invited maybe 4 or 5 masters of the school or teachers come to discuss. Then one can explain your experience, your methodology, but the others that can come to have some questions. So I think the Tommy maybe could arrange such a workshop in future together with us in a way that we can invite also teachers of other schools. This probably we could do to share and to communicate. 这个是可以做到，就是通过这样的那个培训啊，但必须要有 why should I have one way? And because we cannot, I have this schools examples, but I can't tell everyone, oh, we're doing this way. And we can tell them by internet, but if you want to come to the same ideas to show that one should come together to discuss, I think this we can do. As now we said we Dongba and Daba have some cooperation. We schools could have also similar cooperation, but they should come together. I remember in Lugu Lake, in Yunnan, we once held some international workshop is similar way to share like how to preserve the urban medicine in Vietnam, in Cambodia, and we come to share that, ask questions there. I think we finally we could come to the some conclusion.
Okay, well, Professor Yang, thank you very much indeed for a really wonderful talk and very rich answers to everybody's questions. So I think at this point we will say thank you to Professor Yang and thank you to Michael and Esther, and thank you very much to everybody who came and participated. So let's give Professor Yang a round of applause.
Thank you for your questions also. Thank you.
Michael, do you wish to say a few concluding words?
I'll just echo your thanks to Professor Yang. Thank you, Professor Reese, and thank you to Esther Zhou, our Assistant Director at CCS. And we look forward to seeing many of you at future events, hopefully in person and maybe also online. So take care and stay safe, everyone.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.